So others will join us as they will. We'll get started. So yesterday we discussed manifestation, the equation of manifestation, our beliefs, and how to unravel them. So there were 6 questions that I put into the masterclass. So into the Facebook group. If you're not in my Facebook group already, I recommend you joining, and it's aligned to your health. I will put it in the chat. So anything that comes up for you, the chat is the best place for you to put it, and then I will address it. I debated on opening up a group on its own, but I, for whatever reason, decided this is the best way to do it. Especially because so Facebook is now you have to do all this code for streaming it into Facebook. So it's a little more complicated. So I didn't want to add more complication to doing it. So now I think I'm set for the group. So anytime I want to go into it, I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm happy for that. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And if not, you'll get an email from me. Sherry, you got the email this morning? Okay, great. So if you're joining us as Gemini is, then tomorrow morning when I send out the mass email to everybody who's joined, then you'll get day 1 and 2. Okay, so rest assured. And no, and I'm just reminding you because I think this part got cut off, where the replays will only be up for 1 week after each session. So Mondays comes down on Monday, Tuesdays comes down on Tuesday, Wednesday comes down and through the rest of the week. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's human nature for us to put these things off and put ourselves and what we actually want and desire onto the back burner. And especially as busy people and women, especially with children and work and all the things, we tend to put ourselves on the back burner if we're even on the list at all, which then makes it even harder for us to heal whatever we want to heal. So it's just, I know the human nature and I've done it myself. So it's just to encourage you to take this masterclass, even though it's free, it doesn't mean it's not valuable. And even though it's free, doesn't mean that you're not going to get a whole lot out of it. And even though it's free, it doesn't mean that it's not worth something to you and for your health. So when we're finished, I'm actually going to package this as a paid program for $333. So this is my gift to you. And I really hope that you invest in you and you take the time to actually commit to your health for the time that you have access to this. Okay. If you want to pay me for the recordings for this group, just for this week, there'll be like a VIP of $47. So that way you have access to it for your lifetime. Okay, I'll be putting it on YouTube. That way I don't delete it in my Zoom, which I've done in the past. Oops. So just making sure we're all clear on that. Okay, so at the end yesterday, we also did a heart coherence meditation. And I must tell you, this meditation, it seems so basic, and it really has done amazing things for myself. I have lost weight with it. I have lost 15 pounds and inches with it. I've also, my hair was falling out from the stress of my marriage. the separation helped, but it was still, there was stress left behind, especially when they went to overseas for a couple of years. I was still having hair loss, and it was affecting this part, like the top of the crown. And when I started working with this coach and we were doing this, I was doing it at least 3 days a week. Um, I was noticing that my hair was getting thicker and it's gotten curlier, which is really amazing because I'm in the phase of gray hair, and gray hair normally gets duller and it gets flatter. Well, my hair is not doing that at all, and it's amazing. So if you get an opportunity for this next week, if you don't buy the recordings, that's fine. Just, I would encourage you to do it every day because it will really help settle your nervous system to get you out of that heightened state of fight, flight, and freeze and put you into the rest and digest. Okay. And also, it's going to connect you back to your body because this one I tweaked a little bit specifically for the body because our bodies are amazing machines. And oftentimes we take it for granted. That's the truth. And unless if it's not in pain, and if it's not in illness or conditions or diseases or mental anxiety or stress, emotional stress, then we take it for granted. And I was there a couple weeks ago, like I shared yesterday about my tooth. And I've forgotten how well my body does. And thankfully, I think it's healed. So I will be sending the x-rays to my dentist to see what he has to say, and then I'll go from there. But it feels so much better. All of this area was swollen from the infection. And with the medication and with the healing that I did over that weekend, it's made a lifetime of difference. So it can be for you too. So I just want you to know it's not just for me and it's not just for other people. It can be for you too. Okay. So let's just start so that we bring all our energy back. Close your eyes, take a nice couple of deep belly breaths. Inhaling for 4, holding for 4, and exhaling for 8. This will help put us into the rest and digest part of our nervous system, helping us be clearer of thought. You're welcome to set an intention. The intention can be the same as yesterday, or it can be something different today. And I really want you to pull back all your energy, if you can, from work, from the to-do list, from your children, from any outside circumstances or situations that are draining you or causing you to be overwhelmed, having anxiety or stress. And anytime you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, this is a really great way to recenter yourself, tapping into your heart. Because your head's not, it doesn't have the solution. The head is the reason why you're in the situation usually in the first place. So just allowing yourself to become calmer, more still. You can get grounded by envisioning roots coming from your feet and the bottom of your seat, going down, down, down into Mother Earth and wrapping around a beautiful large crystal of choice. Continuing to take these nice deep belly breaths. And with every exhale, you can even set the intention of releasing and letting go of what no longer serves you. Bring your awareness back to your bodies. So today we're going to be discussing acceptance of where you are, because without acceptance, we're not going to be able to move forward. So oftentimes, and again, it's human nature, it's all about awareness at this stage, okay? So there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no judgment, there's no criticism. It's just awareness. And we have this push-pull energy where we have a desire to do certain things, like heal our bodies, or our minds, or our hearts, or even our souls. And there's a part of us that wants it and wants to receive it, but there's resistance that we're putting up. And part of the resistance is that we want to be where we want to be now. So we get impatient. And I am so guilty of this. We're checking, we're that like that little kid when we're driving in the car. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And we keep asking the question. And the more questions we ask, and the more doubt we have, and the more worry and fear that we're not going to get where we want to be, that's what's holding us back. So we have to just take a nice deep breath and accept that we are where we are. And remember from yesterday, that's our old self. That's the old identity that's struggling with whatever you're going through. And the new self is the one that's going to help you get to where you want to be quicker and heal. Heal your mind, heal your heart, heal your body, heal your soul. Okay? So we're going to go a little deeper, and this is going to be uncomfortable work because we're going to talk about emotions. Oh no. The dreaded emotions. I remember I had a membership, and I brought this up in one of the coaching calls we had once a month, and all of them were like, no, don't, let's, it's, we want to brush it under the rug. We want to deal with it tomorrow. We want to not deal with it at all. Like, it's just how we are taught to manage our emotions is to not deal with it. And I can honestly tell you, in my 30 years of experience in the wellness industry, that is why there are so many conditioned illnesses and diseases, especially in the 2025 year. We are not losing or eliminating any illness, condition, and diseases. We're actually finding out there's more. And I don't believe that it's because there's more conditions, illnesses, and diseases out there, but it's because our stress levels are so high, and they're so normal to be so high. And it's almost an expectation. Like I have seen on the internet where there's been this big, almost, you're almost seeking validation for being burnt out, seeking validation for not going to the bathroom all day because they've been so busy at work. I mean, to me, that's crazy stuff. You're setting yourself up for disease with that. Conditioning, saying that, I haven't slept but 3 hours, 4 hours a night because I've been so busy with my business, or whatever it is, not eating healthy, you're not eating at all, maybe all day. That is also setting yourself up for failure. So these are things that we are, as human beings, require as basic self-care. Eat well as much as you possibly can. Drink lots of water. Make sure that you are getting enough sleep. Anywhere, especially as women, 6 to 8 hours. And if you're not, then there's something, your nervous system is out of whack. Okay. You are going to have better moods. You're going to be able to handle stress better. You're going to be able to go through your day where it's not feeling this big drama and tra-la-la over some basic simple things. This is a big indication when I have clients coming through my doors, is I will ask them, are you basically snapping at everybody? Are you finding yourself in these negative states and negative moods? Do you find like you feel like you're not yourself? Like these are pretty good indications that something's out of alignment. And if you haven't gotten to a point where your bodies are really out of alignment and you don't have an illness, condition, and disease, please take heed because your body is whispering if your mind is out of whack and you've got anxiety and overwhelm and the mind chatter is going like crazy. These are all signals that something is wrong. And it is kind of mind blowing. I'm kind of going off on a tangent because obviously it's being channeled through me. So I'm going to follow it. But we take more care of our cars than we do our bodies. We will take that light engine or that engine light that goes off in our cars is a signal something is wrong with the car, and we will take it to the shop and we will check it out and we will pay whatever we need to pay. We'll find the money to take care of that car, but we will not on a regular basis take care of our bodies. We're taking it for granted. And our bodies are going to rebel against us if they already haven't. And they're going to silently whisper at you. You're going to get headaches, or you're going to get moody, or you're going to get on edge and irritated. And these are the silent signals that something is out of alignment. And then you're going to get pain and aches in certain places, not because you're getting older, not because you're doing anything necessarily wrong, but because you're out of alignment. Full stop. There's no two ways about it. There's not a doubt in my mind. This is a knowing. Okay. And I really want you to hear this because I don't want you to get to that point, to the extreme that you have to get an illness, a condition, or a disease in order for you to pay attention, in order for you to make the change, in order for you to start saying, okay, what does my body want and need today? What is going to benefit me today? And that burger that looks so yummy and you've had 5 of them in the last couple of weeks, maybe it's time to say no and have it once a month as a treat. We've gone way too far and way too extreme. Maybe that Coke or Diet Coke that you think you really want, which is eating you literally from the inside out. When I used to work at McDonald's, we used to take Coke. It was actually soda water, but soda water is in Coke, and put it in a container and put the little nozzles for the pop machine in to eat all the gunk overnight. So not good for you. Not good for you. The sugar's not good for you. Your teeth are going to rot. It's going to create issues because a lot of, especially if you're having Diet Coke, will actually make you more hungry and you're going to eat more food. So if you're trying to lose weight, it's not the way to do it. Okay, so we just have to be more consciously aware of what we're doing with our bodies. We want to love our bodies because our bodies will do a lot of great things for us. But if we do not take heed, our bodies will also scream at us eventually. Okay, so when you're checking in with yourself throughout the day, what I want you to do is just, it's about the feelings. So we need to pay attention to what our feelings are through the day. So you can ask yourself, what throughout the day, how am I feeling? Am I feeling good? Great. Then you're in alignment, things are going well, everything's good. If I'm not feeling good, ask yourself why, because you're out of alignment. It can be that simple. It's not easy, but it's that simple. Okay. Our feelings are our internal guidance system. They will always direct you to what is going on within you. So if you wake up and you're feeling crap, there's a reason. And it's usually because something happened the day before or a couple days before, and you're ruminating over the fact that it happened and what they said and what she said and what they did and what they didn't do and all the tra-la-la. It's not helpful. It's not helpful, especially when you do this before you go to sleep. I have actually become so aware of what I do before I go to sleep, because I know if I'm having a conversation in my head about something someone said or did, I will wake up in the middle of the night, usually around like 2 or 3 o'clock. I call it the witching hour. And I will continue the conversation as if I didn't sleep for those 2 or 3 hours. This is the power of the mind. And we can shift it, change it, and control it, which is the beautiful thing. Okay. So pay attention to what's going on. What are the emotions that you're feeling at any one point in time? So what I did is I put notifications on my phone, and I just asked myself, how are you feeling throughout my day? Just to check in. So the goal is to feel better 51% of the time throughout your day. And the more that increases, because it increases your vibration and your frequency, and increased vibration and frequency generate healthy cells. They actually will vibe and shift and change and actually help the rest of your system because you're feeling good. I hope this makes sense. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you cannot buy pie, because there's going to be some bitterness, resentment, irritation, aggravation, all of the things, because we are, and again, I say this because I've been there, we'll say to ourselves, who's going to take care of me? And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that job's on you. This is why we are not meant to worry about anybody else but ourselves. This is an inner game. It's about you and you only. And that doesn't mean that you don't take care of anybody else or care for anybody else. It means you're the priority first, and then you overflow onto everybody else. Not help people, try to help people from an empty cup, because you can't. I remember there was this one day I was so exhausted. I had been working my butt off, and I was at the Four Seasons at this time. This is when we first moved to the Caribbean. And I was seeing 6 to 8 clients a day, physically exhausted, mentally and emotionally. And because my husband at the time was taking care of the girls through the day and doing the yard work and maybe doing some cooking and cleaning as well, then I felt on my days off, I had to participate in the family. And so I was usually running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. And I remember him stopping me and saying, Tina, what's going on? Like, why are you so frantic? And I explained, like, I want to get this done, that done. And he said, okay. He said, I'm capable of doing things. So what is it you need? And what are my choices? And so I gave him choices. He chose one. He did that, which took a huge, probably 45 minutes off my hand, which were the dishes. So we want to know that other people can step in for us, especially if we're in a partnership. And pull your kids into it. Please do not coddle your kids. Your kids are capable and they want to participate. I remember my girls up until their teenage years wanting to participate, and the pride and the excitement and the joy of accomplishing something, even though usually I had to go back and to redo it. It was okay because they felt accomplished. They felt they were participating in the family. So we've got to, especially if we are unwell and we're in a situation where now your priority number one is you, absolutely, without question, without doubt. There were several times that I had scares with precancer cells. And a lot of times it was because I wasn't taking care of myself. And one thing that I knew for sure is that I had to become the focus. So I made sure I got enough sleep, that I was eating properly, I was reducing my stress levels, I was taking more time for myself, I was going for walks, I was eating healthy, I was trying to manage things, but in a manageable way, and engaging my family in the process of it all. And then really focusing on my cells and seeing them actually working with and for me. When I got sick, my doctor can tell you that I did not look up anything. I'll look it up for everybody else, my clients, but I will not look it up for myself, because I know that if I put it in my head that this symptom, that symptom, this symptom is supposed to come up, and that might happen and this might happen, and then maybe someday you've got a freak situation and it actually happens, we're going to make it mean something. And when we make it mean something, this is when we put the emotion around it, and then we go into the mind chatter and the ego mind gets into it, and it just clings onto it to a point where now it actually means something, which it didn't have to. So with this tooth situation, I found myself going into it making mean something, because for the past several years, my ex-husband would make my birthday a bad experience. And this is probably the first birthday that I actually had a really good experience right the way through. And I am certain that on a subconscious level, this tooth issue came up because I was used to having some kind of drama around my birthday. But I didn't make it mean anything. I just allowed it to be. It just is what it is. We want to neutralize these things and just put no emotion around them. Remember that emotion amplifies things. So things are going well, you're feeling good, everything's great, you're in the zone, you're feeling in flow. That's why. And on the downside, on the flip side of that, is the downward what if spiral. You're feeling bad, things suck. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh, is this going to be forever? We go into this catastrophizing and future projecting into all these things that may not and probably not going to happen unless we call them into our energetic field. So I'll give you a good example of this. And I feel bad for my friend, but it was so clear to me. She had this intense, and I mean intense fear, that if she had a child and she raised the child in Toronto, the city, then something would happen because there was crime. Okay. Not a lot of crime, but there was crime. So her and her husband are originally from Halifax, which is a small country or small province in Canada on the East Coast. And so they move home because she is convinced that something's going to go wrong. And her child and her were in the parking lot one day, and this freak accident happened where a woman backed up into the child's cart and squished him against the car, and he ended up with brain damage. And I am convinced that it's because she had such intense fear that this was going to happen that it happened. So this is the power of the mind. This is the power of thought. This is the power of the vibration and the energy in which we project things out there. We don't want to complain about anything. We don't want to talk about anything negative. We don't want to put it out there. We don't want to even think in a negative way. Now, having said that, we are also human beings, and we're going to have moments where things effing suck, and we want to throw something against the wall. So I'm not naive that we don't want, they're calling it toxic positivity, where you put a smile on your face even though you want to throw something. So you don't want to do that. You want to honor your feelings. Feel the feelings to the depth of your soul. You need to scream into a pillow. You need to walk. I mean, I used to walk and I used to punch and punch the air because I was so angry at my ex-husband. I used to put pillow on to my face and scream. Now I walk the halls a lot, up and down, up and down, up and down, because I feel like a panther wanting to claw my way out of the situation. But we've got to feel the feelings. So allow yourself to feel the negative feelings. And when I was going through these pre-cancer scares, that's what I did. I felt the feelings, I felt the sadness, I felt the upset, the concern, the worry, the fear, and I let it go. And then I focused on me. I hope this is registering and making sense. Okay, good. Okay, so I am going to ask you some telepathic questions. And what that is I'm going to think of a question. I'm going to say I'm going to send it to you. And then you're going to have a thought. So it's either going to be a yes or no question, or it's going to be on a scale of 1 to 10. Whatever comes up to you first, don't ask, don't question, don't doubt, whatever you hear, see, sense, or just know. When it comes up, put it in the chat. Okay? This will bypass your subconscious mind so that we can really see what some of the root causes might be behind what's going on with you. Okay? So first question, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a hell yes, and 1 being not at all. Okay? I'm going to send it to you now. Type in the chat what number came up for you. Scale of 1 to 10. No questioning, no doubting. And if a second number comes up, just put in the first one. Now there's going to be 5 questions. So just put a 1 period and then what the number. And here's the second question. I'll tell you what they are after we do them. Sending it to you now. Again, put the number in the chat. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . This is a yes or no question. I give you a few seconds. Okay. Okay, the third question, yes or no? Sent it to you. Put it in the chat. Sorry, there's only 4 questions. Last one. On a scale of 1 to 10, again, 1 being 0 is nothing, 10 being yes, very solidly. Okay. Sending it to you now. Okay, what's the 4th one? Okay. Everybody got it? Okay. So the first question is do you think you deserve to be suffering? 1 being no, and 10 being, or anything in between, closer to yes. So on that one, if you have anything under a 7, then you're good. Anything above a 7, then you actually believe you deserve to be suffering. So the second question is, do you think you are worthy of healing? 10 being hell yes, and 1 being no. The third question is, do you love yourself? And that's a yes or no question. And the fourth question was, do you love your body on a scale of 1 to 10? So how did everybody fare? Okay. So there's some people that think they should suffer. Are you surprised at any of these numbers? Yes or no? No? Okay. Okay. So this is, again, just about awareness. Okay, so we don't want to make ourselves beat ourselves up and criticize ourselves, and we don't want to judge ourselves, and we don't want to make ourselves wrong. We just want to become aware, because this is probably going to get you to the root of what's going on. There's some level that either believes that you should suffer, that you don't love yourself, that you think that you're not worthy of healing, and or you don't love your body. And that one specifically, number 4, is not a surprise, especially if you're going through any kind of condition, illness, or disease, because we tend to resent our bodies and disconnect our minds and our hearts and our souls from our bodies because we're rejecting it because of what we're going through. Or you deserve to be punished. Not perfect. Remnants of childhood. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what can happen, right? So I would almost, I won't say guarantee because can't promise anything, but I wouldn't be surprised, Sherry, if you heal that, things will shift in a big way for you. So I remember talking to a woman who was struggling with her energy. She was exhausted. She had these aches and pains. She had all these different kinds of conditions and illnesses, as well as anxiety. And that's how we came to having a conversation. And she said something really interesting to me. She said that her body let her down. And with compassion and love, I said to her that her body hasn't let her down. She let her body down. And it was like this huge light bulb went off in her head. And she started to cry and realized that she's the one who's got herself in this situation. Now, again, there's no criticism or judgment. It's just awareness. So if this is triggering you, I really need you to write this stuff down as much as you possibly can, or put it in the chat triggering, because it's going to help you unravel what is in play in the subconscious mind. Okay. So her body is just responding to her thoughts, her feelings, her beliefs, her stories, and how she sees herself. And if you're going through anything that's been long-standing, and when I say long-standing, I would say anywhere between 6 months and a year or more, then you're going to get up in your head and you're going to make it mean something. You're going to attach emotions behind it. You're going to criticize yourself. You're going to judge yourself. I found myself even not necessarily with my health, but going through different parts of my life where I thought I healed certain parts. And then I went into, what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing enough of? And it was this huge mind chatter downward spiral that was not helpful. And because I've been doing this for so long, I was able to stop myself and then go, okay, this is silly. And we do this because we've been taught this. This is how we were punished as children. We were criticized if we do something quote unquote wrong, then of course the judgment comes and the criticism comes. So consider yourself a toddler. Would you do that to your toddler? Would you sit your toddler down and go to town on them and criticize them and chastise them and judge them for the fact that they tried to ride the bike and they didn't do it right and they fell a few times? Or a baby who trying to walk, and how many times does that baby get up and fall on their butt? Or my youngest daughter used to, at 10 months, knock her head all the time because she'd fall forward because she was propelling herself across the floor. She was so desperate to be mobile. So put yourself in that child's shoes. What would you tell your inner child? Let's do this, because this is totally off topic, but if I'm feeling the need to do this. So we're gonna tap into our inner child. So you're gonna put your hand to your heart, take some nice deep breath. Hopefully we're still rooted. If you need to root and ground yourself even further, Do that with your nice deep breath. And you're going to see your inner child in your heart. And he or she is going to be sitting, standing. Maybe she's pacing. And you're standing near her or him. Ask your inner child how they feel and be prepared for some backlash and some not nice words and reactions. Maybe they feel let down, exhausted with all the energy that we're having to put into our health because we're not focusing 100% on ourselves. Maybe they're angry at you because you've let them down. Now hear the words without judgment or criticism or being triggered. You might cry, feel sad, disappointed maybe in yourself. And that inner child has the right to feel what they want to feel. Allow them to express themselves. No justification, no need to explain, no need to say you tried. You're doing the best you can, because they don't hear that. They want to be validated. They want to be heard. If they're willing to hold your hand, or you could put your hand on their shoulder, or you can hold them as they get out all of what they're feeling. Maybe they're going to kick and scream. They might even punch. Just allow them to have the safe space to feel what they want to feel. And once they start to calm down, ask for forgiveness. Tell them you're sorry. And that's it. And again, if they feel safe enough to hug you or to hold your hand, do that. And remind them that everything's going to be okay. That you're okay. That she's okay. And that from now on, things are going to get better. And maybe she had some parting words for you that are more loving and more kind. You can give her a hug as you step back into your body. And she melts into your heart. She is a part of you, a more healed part of you. Take a couple deep breaths. Bring your awareness back to your body. Maybe wiggle your toes and your fingers. If you're up to sharing how that experience was. Or if you want to write it down and journal about it, so you can come back to it later. That's fine. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Okay. So when we're unaware of these things, we have a tendency to be reactive. And I was there for a very long time. This is what I grew up seeing in my mother and knowing. And so I came from the lens of everything's happening to me. All the circumstances, all the conditions, all the people that hurt me, all the things that were happening, then I would react and respond. And I remember my boss and mentor at the time, I was in my 20s at this point, asking me, if I am steering the ship or if I'm letting the ship be steered by the river. And I had no clue what the heck he was talking about. I'm thinking he's crazy at this point, right? I'm like, okay, crazy man, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. And I realized, and he said to me, Tina, there's a point where you got to put the oar in the water and you got to start to steer your own life. And that stuck with me. I still didn't fully understand it until probably, I would even say, the last 6 or 7 years. When we shift that perspective from being a victim, where things are coming at us, things are happening to us, and we start to shift the perspective that things are happening for us, this is when life changes. So I'm going to leave you with this for homework. Is I really want you to sit with yourself and ask yourself if looking at the lens through your life, through the lens of things are happening for me, then what is this illness, condition, disease, mental issues, emotional issues, spiritual disconnection. What is it doing for me? What is it trying to teach me? What, how does it make you now feel? How does it make you think? What do you believe? What stories will you start telling yourself from this lens of things are happening for me? Now what? And how will you see yourself? Do you still see yourself as the victim or as someone who can become more empowered and take back control of your life and have the best health moving forward? Any questions about the homework? Okay, good. Okay, I feel complete. That totally went off tangent. And this is usually why I don't let everybody know what I'm gonna do the next day, because honestly, the channel comes through and it was meant to be. So hopefully that was as powerful as it felt for me. And I hope you got some insights. If there's any aha moments that you had, any questions that you've had, come into the group. If you're not already in the group, I left the link above. I'll put it in again. And let's have a conversation around this, because I'm really, truly, sincerely here to help you. And sometimes, especially again, when things are chronic or they've been going on for a long time, it's really hard to see the forest for the trees, because we've been through so much. On my cancer journey, I think it's to teach me to allow and love. Mm, and support, probably, sharing. Yeah, yeah, I feel that. Yeah, definitely. So really tap into it. Everything is a lesson to learn. Everything is an opportunity for us to heal, or to see that we've healed, or to see where we need to heal more. It is an opportunity, and if we look through this lens, that it's meant for us right now, for whatever the reason, you may not like it, and it kind of sucks, and all the things. And we also want to acknowledge that there is a reason why we're going through our experiences. And we may not see it right now. And I get it. I didn't see it when I was going through, and I just had precancer cell situations. Can't even imagine what you ladies are going through, some of you. So I send you so much love and compassion. Have compassion and love for yourself, and know that everything will be okay. We're just learning, and we're becoming aware, and we're becoming better and stepping into the truth of who we really are. We're shedding all the crap from our childhood, from our past, from all the people that have hurt us, all the situations that have changed us. Because as a child, when you're born worthy and deserving, and nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing. You are still worthy, you are still deserving, you are still loved, you are still lovable, and you are love. So, from my heart to yours, I'll see you tomorrow. You're very welcome, Jess, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.